The Aldis podcast is brought to you by Aldis International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
Hello everybody, it's Mark Kelly here, Chief Customer Officer and co-founder of Aldis. I hope you're doing well. Whatever you've had this week, you are in for an absolute treat because I have, a part of our ServiceNow series, I have Marcel Hopp and Alexandra Otte from Agineo, and they're going to be sharing some insights into the world of ServiceNow, particularly in the world of HRSD. Alexandra, Marcel, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Mark.
So before we get started, Alexandra, tell us, how did you get into the world of ServiceNow? And I'm going to put that question back to you as well, Marcel, after Alexandra's answer.
Yes, I started working with ServiceNow in 2019, and after getting in contact with the system and actually IT service management, I started to grow interest in employee service management, as I do have a background in human resources. And since then, Marcel and I are working as product line leads within Agineo to develop these topics, or this topic of employee service management, and create added value for our customers. Besides that, I'm of course taking care of our HR clients and working in many HR projects. And in general, working in this area, I like really much working in this area, as employee service management is a really tangible topic, and every time it's really rewarding to get projects going and see the results and optimizing the work of the people and culture departments.
Thank you, Alexandra. And Marcel?
Yeah, I started working with ServiceNow in 2018 when I was asked to build up a service catalog within the platform. And after being 2 years in this role, I decided to change my job and go ahead with working for Agineo in 2021. First, I was working on IT serviceman projects too, but then, late 2021, I was, kind of recruited by Alexandra for working on HRSD topics too, internally and in projects. And with that, we started developing our products, and in our role as the product line leads, we have already developed some products. We come to this later, and actually, I'm involved in 3 projects, and same as some pre-sales tasks.
Fantastic. And for people that have been living under a rock, Alexandra, can you briefly tell us about Agineo as a company and what their vision is as a business?
Yeah, we are a ServiceNow partner, the biggest ServiceNow partner in Germany. Therefore, accompanying a lot of companies which want to introduce or want to develop their ServiceNow projects and have experience in all of the modules of the platform. Today, we're talking about HRSD, but of course, we have many colleagues who are working on many other modules, and in general, we have a lot of experience there.
Brilliant. So when we look at the multiple different systems that people have to choose from, ServiceNow and HRSD seem to go up very, very well together. And there's a few different reasons for that. Can you maybe give us your thoughts about these and some of the insights and why people might want to look at this as a preference over some of the other options available?
Yeah. ServiceNow, first of all, is a software which can and should be used to centralize and canalize all of the HR requests and processes in one system. And especially because as of now, in many companies, there are often a lot of different ways to get the HR-related inquiries answered. And with ServiceNow, you have just a one-stop shop for all of the employees. And this allows HR to focus on the people, on the employees, instead of different tools and different processes. because ServiceNow works as a control center, you could say so, for all the processes, and also benefits from the part as to be an enterprise tool, where the communication between the departments is more easily, because we're talking about the HR department, but the tool can be used and is used for other departments as well. And HR needs to communicate with IT, for example, and there we have the advantage of the communication between the departments within the tool. And yeah, there are still other specific HR tools needed, even with ServiceNow, and these tools can be integrated to the system. So there, ServiceNow works as a one-stop shop for the employee, but in the background, of course, other systems can be integrated within the process.
Marcel, if I kind of follow on from Alexandra's point, from integration perspective, and if we look at any of the recent and last 5 to 10 years, one of the most challenging issues of IT projects, or just projects in general within technology, is integration, and different systems coming together and working between that. It's always been a challenge. What are some of the benefits for actually integrating in ServiceNow, and maybe from the ITSM processes that you've experienced?
So what is very feasible, and I mean, what's the best example to integrate IT and HR is, of course, the onboarding and offboarding topic, because we're not talking about getting the people to work right, but we just have to maintain their access to the systems, that they have all the IT equipment ready for the day one, or even better, a few days before. So with ITSM and HRSD being on the same platform, we can drive here the process transparency and automation between IT and HR, because onboarding is displayed in ServiceNow as a so-called lifecycle event. And I can give you another example on this, because when an employee has a movement or will do a job change within the company, we can utilize this automation too, because once the day of the new job may have arrived, ServiceNow can directly start the deinstallation for the old software products for your previous job and install on your computer all the software products and tools for the new job you have and need from now on. And if the employee, for example, has to change the office building at the same time, which we know from our HR case, then the lifecycle event can directly order the new access card for you from your IT or IT security department to pick it up. So you don't have to remember what needs to be all done while you're at this point. ServiceNow is thinking that for you. And as I said, the transparency of processes and the responsibility is also very clear, because you can assign all the stuff to HR or to IT, or talk together on one case and not have to write, I don't know how many emails and look into different systems where you have maybe different information visible. So all CIs, asset, jobs are visible in the platform, are accessible for the people, so they can focus on their day-to-day processes in the department with having one central point of all those information in the system.
Yeah, and if you think about it, everybody remembers their first day at school. Everybody remembers their first day of work. And if you haven't had a positive onboarding experience while your colleagues have, we now know there's a high likelihood that you will churn, right? So if you think about the costs of getting an employee set up for success and onboarded correctly to then later to be productive, there's quite a bit of sunk costs that are put into that. So let's get that onboarding successfully put into process. So when we look at some of the benefits of using the ServiceNow platform and why agineo are more focused on internal development of ServiceNow, can you go into a little bit more detail about that control center within HR?
Yeah, so what we have and what ServiceNow brings up some at points is that ServiceNow can even integrate tools and also tasks and to-dos from other systems, like we have in SuccessFactors and Workday, which are HR core systems. So, and there may be some tasks to do for the employee and agents too. So we can integrate this to ServiceNow and have this one in one system. As you said, we'll build up the control center. But What we do have also from our project is the HR inquiry topic, and everyone and most companies and people in the company thinking, oh, we have some unique inquiries in our company, in our industry, which the employee must raise or can raise. So, but I mean, onboarding, payroll inquiries, all of us want to have a great that first day. All of us want to get their paycheck at the right place in the right matter at the right time. So the fulfillment process between the companies and industries might be different, but at least the inquiries from the employee are the same. So what we decided is to go to this point and being asked in some project about best practice HR services, we pulled us up and said, okay, let's build an HR service catalog for this one. Focusing on the German-speaking region, because in our area we have some specific HR inquiries, and in Europe too. So what we did a hackathon in our Frankfurt office for 2 days with other colleagues, creating over 50 HR services, having a great time with pizza, some snacks and drinks, and enjoyed our time. And what we can do with that, we can now use this HR services in the project to ramp up the client quickly and in a short matter of time, and then focus on the process they need to have within the specific inquiry. So we utilize platform functionalities to bring this in the system and then focus on the configuration for the customer and their requirements specific.
Fantastic. Alex?
Yeah, I wanted to add, because we have another product, which we also developed due to a need we noticed within the project, because often HRSD implementations are more a matter of organizational change as well, because it has a huge impact on the work of the HR departments, of the people and culture departments. And therefore we decided to create enablement videos, which can be used for the employees in the departments, and project members in general, to explain in a fast, light way what ServiceNow will bring for them, how they can use ServiceNow, what are the benefits for ServiceNow. Because like this, we have noticed that we can also ramp up the projects faster, that everyone is enabled in a faster way, and in general, the projects are more successful if everyone knows what are the benefits in the end of these projects.
Yeah, and I think people feel a lot more comfortable going into the process because they've got more of a background. You've taken the time to look at frequently asked questions or concerns, and then you're actually kind of helping them, priming them for that journey, so they feel more engaged on going that. So it saves everybody a lot of time. The hackathon of different people coming together, I love that idea, because you're doing it on the fly, you're getting different perspectives, opinions, users are trying different things out. So you really have a design thinking way of looking at how you maximize the value for your customers too. My final question would be, it's probably a little bit more personal to yourselves, is you since you've joined 2019, 2018, respectively, what have been your learnings, and how would you summarize these back to people coming into the field of working in the world of your ServiceNow, and maybe particularly within the type of like Rise Up program?
Yeah, maybe first of all, the general advice: don't be afraid about ServiceNow, about the technical part in ServiceNow, because, for example, I do not have an IT background, and even though it was easy for me to join the platform, it's a good and simple start. You have several trainings you can use, and which you should use as well. And maybe if you're already working with the platform, because this is also a frequently asked question we get, don't be afraid of the switch to HRSD, because it's a special module, you have special functionalities, but in the end it's the same platform based on the same technologies. So don't be afraid neither there to have the switch. And maybe in a more general approach, it's always good to have a brief understanding of the platform, but then in the end, for us, it made sense to just focus on one or two areas, modules, which you like, which you may be interested in. For example, HRSD, and grow your knowledge there. Always read the release notes, get excited about what is coming, ask questions.
Great advice. And Marcel?
Yeah, I'm having kind of a similar way coming to ServiceNow because I'm coming from an business administration background, have studied psychology in my master's degree, and then coming to ServiceNow, right, with being an IT platform. And I was coming from the more than process perspective, and then work yourself into the IT part of it because you can do it. It's all good explained. It's very well documented in the ServiceNow docs, in the product documentation. So as Alexandra said, you don't have to be afraid. And even the point to ask questions. We have this great community in our company to ask any questions, and frequently take a look for the ServiceNow community. Utilize such conference like Knowledge in Las Vegas this year to get in contact with ServiceNow themselves. I mean, we had such great conversation with some outbound product managers of ServiceNow, meeting customers there, and just get in contact with the platform. They're using YouTube videos, so the level to get into it is very good and very low. And I mean, they recently announced to bring in AI right into the platform as a huge point for the future. We experience this in all of our work that AI is coming, and I think at this point you don't have to be afraid too, because ServiceNow will utilize the AI to build more complexity, of course, more complex processes within the platform. But from my point of view, somebody has to keep an eye on it. You have to maintain it, and you have to control the platform, that the platform is doing what you're expecting it to do within your customer, within your company. So you have a great experience and a high leveraging platform.
Alexandra Otte and Marcel Hopp, senior consultants at Agineo, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Aldis Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.aldis.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.